Entrepreneurs are not these sort of sect of people that don't feel things emotionally. I'm incredibly emotional, and when I fall, I really, really feel that feeling of grazed knees and hurt. But then there's that moment that I think, I'm going to get up, I'm going to give it another go, I'm going to try again. I've got to make this work. And my childhood, I think, taught me that, the sense that there was never enough money in the house. The fridge was often empty. And I did not want to grow up as an adult and live that life for myself. No, I didn't. That wasn't to say I didn't have a happy childhood, love my mum and dad, love what they gave us, but I did not want to live that life. And I didn't want my children to live that life. I mean, I was a facialist, and I had these amazing women that would troops up 3 flights of stairs to have their face done. And I would just give it was a tiny little bottle of bath oil, and I didn't give it to every single one of those clients because I didn't have enough to do that. I would just give it out sort of every now and again. And one woman one day just said, "This is the most amazing product, can I buy some?" And I said, "No, I'll make you some." Thinking she wanted 2 or 3 bottles, and she wanted 100 bottles. And she put it at the place of a party a dinner she was holding. And everybody wanted to purchase the product, and that's really how it went from producing these tiny little bath oils to actually selling a product. And that's often what happens in business. You have to create the hunger for your product first. Now, I naively had created that situation for myself. That wasn't in my business plan. I've never had a business plan, which is very foolish of me, but I never thought to myself, this is a great product, I'm going to make this. It just happened. But when those situations happen in life, you have to run with it. You have to see the advantage that you've been given, and you have to take it with both hands and make it yours. And that is what I did. When you take your product from suddenly making 30 bottles a time to 3,000 bottles a time, it's a really painful experience. It was for me. And I got all flustered. I had to go and sit in a laboratory, and of course the chemist would say to me, "So how much cinnamon do you put in?" "Well, I don't know, until it smells right." Well, that's fine if I was making it, but when you're trying to scale up and supply somebody, you can't do that. So I had to sit there for days on end and go, no, yes, that's it. And it was a long, drawn-out process. Then taking the product and selling it in a shop, having to do all the publicity that goes with that, man a shop. And I was also doing faces at the time, so I would do 5 faces a day, and I would then run down to the shop, sell in the shop at lunchtime, run back, do the faces, come back in the evening. It wasn't an easy sort of transition. When Gary and I first went to New York, of course, we asked things that nobody had ever asked, i.e., I was an unknown. I was this little girl from London with a tiny little shop selling bath oils. And no, I'm not. I'm only going to come to Bergdorf Goodman if you build me my own shop, store in store. And it was like, and what's more, we want to use all our own packaging. Oh, no, you can't do that. But in fact, they did. And you know what? Business and retail is about relationships. People have to see that there is a long-term relationship with you, that there's trust, there's respect. But what you're going to do is you're going to unfold your product together. And in doing so, they get a wonderful exclusive deal with you. I, in return, got really safe hands that my product and my company was put into. And from day one, Bergdorf Goodman was the most unbelievable success. And what it did then is it then was the blueprint about how we did everything else. Because if Bergdorf Goodman were going to give us that, then that's what we were going to get everywhere else. My business went through huge growth periods, and then it slowed down, and then huge growth periods. And again, that's a sort of natural and normal pattern. Build them, I would say, build them strongly, build them securely. Let's learn from the lessons that have happened in this world. Don't become greedy too fast, too quickly. But there's nothing wrong in succeeding. Success is not a dirty word. Success is a good word. It brings you freedom. It brings you the right to choose if you work hard. So, you know, be successful, but whatever success means to you, it may mean you do it slowly, it may mean you do it much more quickly, maybe you take a partner on board, but build strong, secure, little Dunkirk businesses. People buy into a lifestyle and they think, oh, I love the person, I love the story, I love the product. What else do they do? So you start to build a relationship with those people, that, you know, and there is a form of intimacy in your business, that, you know, however you choose to communicate with them, and give part of yourself. Don't be frightened to do that. Go and stand in your shop, go and stand in the place where your product sells, and tell the story and be part of it and see how people are interacting. You know, the biggest mistake big businesses make is they become detached from their consumer and they sit in their offices. And I think every single person should stand on that shop floor and sell. And that was a rule in our company. It didn't matter who you were, you stood, whether it was at Christmas time or whatever, and you stood on the shop floor and you wrapped packages and you learnt what it was that people were saying about your product. Truth hurts sometimes, it's not very comfortable, but you can end up sort of becoming so detached from your product. So be part of it, be part of the story. It's your soul, it's part of you. Make it part of you and make the consumer know and feel that that's part of you. Each individual knows their own self. I'd fought cancer very badly for a year and I just felt it was the right time. I can't put into words, I couldn't give you steps 1 to 10 how you know. I think when you fight a life-threatening disease, you do lose part of your identity. You know, you fight the disease and you sometimes lose the person in between. So for me, it was the right time. And when I look back now, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. I wouldn't have been making a show for BBC One. You know, I would have been running a cosmetic company, designing, creating. So I can't put into words really. I just knew it was the right time. It felt instinctive for me that it was the right time to get out. I think there's a moment in any business where something comes along and you think to yourself, is that really, really, really what I want? And when the Lauder deal came along, it was the deal of a lifetime. And I had to really make sure if I said no, I really did not want that. And it was a happy marriage, it was a happy partnership. And it's that business, to me, what was most important is that business remained secure and the values of that business remained secure and the customers felt loved and cherished. And that still happens today. So I know I made the right decision. I am very creative, I can think up, I'm very good at lots of things, but what I am not good at is the figures, the business side, the running of a business. So you find someone that is good at that. It's pretty obvious to me. Now, it happened to be my husband, so for me it was a perfect scenario. Sometimes it doesn't quite work out like that. But don't try and do the things that you're not good at, because what you do is you stop doing the things that you are good at. Often our communities that we live in, the solutions to our problems are right there, but we don't want to ask. And one of the things that I encourage people, and which is what we used to do, is we used to have people around for dinner at our house and we would ask them 10 questions. It wasn't, you know, you didn't sit and turn to your left and turn to your right and whatever. We all were together. We'd have a pizza or a spaghetti, bottle of wine, and we'd sit and ask questions about our business and have 10 people around that table that we knew would all come up with different solutions and ideas. And it cost us nothing but a pizza and a bottle of wine. And you'd be amazed the ideas that actually surfaced and came out of that. Or someone would say, you know what, I've got a friend that could help you there. So don't be frightened to ask for help. The idea for High Street Dreams sort of came about really from my desire and belief that entrepreneurs really do have a voice in this economic climate. Are they all the answer? Absolutely not. But we do have part of the answer. And by nurturing and creating young businesses, that's going to be our future. And if we don't deal with that right now, at this moment in time, we're going to be looking in another few years' time and we're going to be in the same position again. We do need to nurture kind of young businesses and believe in each other and help each other. So the idea of the show was simply the passion that I felt for that. I wouldn't be where I was in life if people hadn't helped me get where I was and am. And I sat down with a TV production company, not really thinking about television, if I'm really honest, just talking about how I felt about it. And before I knew where I was sitting in with BBC One, and it was being commissioned.